15, 16,
Yeah.
17, like 2004 to now.
Yeah. Well, we got married in 2011, so it's always kind of that next question that everybody asks you once you get married.
Mm-hmm.
When's the baby? When's the next thing? It was just kind of like, well, I don't know. Maybe, next year, maybe this year. And then it just kind of happened. And you're never going to be like ready, like, okay, here's the date. And then, like, this is when we're going to have a kid. No one does that. You just kind of, if you want something, okay, let's try and we'll make it work, along the way. And that's kind of what we did, so.
You adapt to what life kind of throws at you, I guess. Yeah. I think that's the biggest lesson we've learned in all of it.
Nothing's ever going to be perfect.
Yeah.
Everybody's got their struggles and challenges. After having a girl, like, I realized I think I wanted a girl anyway. And, I can't imagine not having a girl. A girl is like, as a father, kind of like your heart. And, most fathers say, yeah, I want a boy, little me and all this stuff. And yeah, that'd be great, but I just couldn't imagine not having, Briella. My vision's always like walking through Disney World or something, just her being as independent as she can, and not having to have her rely on us to help her do certain things, just having her be, as much of a kid, if that makes sense, as she can be, without her being independent is basically my vision.
How many do we have, Twinkle? Count them.
I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Nice. All right. As much as we go through being parents of a child with a disability, that's kind of the most exciting part about it is a little bit the unknown, because it's greater for us to watch Briella walk, independently by herself when doctors told us she may never walk, she may never talk, and she took her first independent steps, just 4 months after having selective dorsal rhizotomy surgery, and that was like, wow. And then she started talking, a year after that, and we thought for sure she was not gonna talk. And I think just really realizing we have to take it day by day, kind of thing, because as Briella grows, her needs are gonna grow. As she goes through growth spurts, things like that. So really just kind of helping her to thrive, letting her tell us, her needs and her wants. But really just making sure she's comfortable and she's just living, the best life. She's happy that she can. So, and we're here to support her along the way.
She's always been a fighter, since she was in the NICU, and every little thing after that, she would always work hard at whatever it is she was battling through, and she's, trying to accomplish whatever goal it is that, whether it's a therapist or us or a teacher, she always just tries the hardest she can to do it. So, I think some of that strength is just within her, and it always has been, so.
At 34 weeks to the day is when I went in.
At noon.
At
and
noon.
She was born at 2:04.
2:04. It was just crazy when the doctor came in and said, you're going back to immediate C-section right now. I was like, Matt, alert everyone on Facebook, call your mom. I was like, I don't know what's about to happen, but I was not prepared for a C-section or just whatever. And I was just...
And they wheel her off, and I'm just kind of like sitting by myself, like in the hallway, kind of like, what in the world's going on? Yeah, it was like an hour and a half, 2 hours later. They called me in, and she's in the middle of everything, and I see her, Briella, come out, and I'm like, oh, she's so tiny, and what, it's like you don't really believe what's going on. You do, but everything's just happening so quick. But it's like I can remember all those little moments, like in slow motion at the same time. So it's like just one of those life moments where it's you just remember all those bits and pieces. And well, we were in NICU for
24 days.
24 days.
It was kind of scary though too. Briella also had staph infection in the NICU, and I remember asking one of the nurses, you know, is she gonna be okay? Is she gonna make it? I mean, as a new mom, that's like the most terrifying thing, you know. The NICU is just so unknown, you know, and we're going through this the first time, and but the nurses at the NICU were so great. We learned a lot.
Yeah, they were very reassuring. Like, they had seen this time and time again, and they're like, oh, she's gonna do great. She's gonna thrive and get through all this, and that was super reassuring throughout that whole thing.
You are doing so good.
You're getting tired on that hip, huh?
Are you standing all by yourself? Oh, stand up.
I mean, we were just devastated. Basically, the doctors say, okay, you know, here's your daughter's diagnosis, now go live. And we were just kind of like, what do we do?
Yeah.
You know?
You start seeing all these things, all these surgeries, all these, who knows what, you know, different severities of it. So then you're just kind of like, okay, where do we start? And, you know.
Her physical therapist at the time suggested that we get in touch with a PMR doctor, so a physical medicine rehab doctor, who helped really kind of guide us along like her journey living with CP. So kind of giving us those options of, you know, therapies and things that we can do, or surgeries that we can do, and all of that. So that kind of really kind of got us going onto, okay, we can start to help Briella as best as we can and give her like the best outcome, you know, for life living with cerebral palsy. It took a lot of, you know, just research and, you know, staying up hours throughout the night, and 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 I started Briella's page, Briella and Me, when she was, I think right before she turned 3. You know, gosh, starting her page and just being able to share, you know, her story and, you know, what physical therapy things we do.
Because everyone's kind of like searching for answers, or providing answers to questions that other, you know, families and mothers, fathers have, for whether they're going through it, you know, for the first time, or they've been through this, that, and the other, and I need something else.
Yeah.
That community of people is really where social media shines.
Woo! Are you a superhero? Superhero! Briella, it's your first time walking all by yourself in the snow. Look at you, big girl.
So Briella had to have hip x-rays done every 6 months, and while her hips remained stable up until this last year, she just turned 6, and they became unstable. So her hips had both migrated out of place about 30% on each side. And when we went and talked to ortho, they immediately wanted to do a guided hip growth procedure where they would put a couple screws into her femurs to draw in her femurs into her pelvis better.
And they wanted to do it like right away.
Right away.
It's like now or never almost kind of thing.
Yeah, and
so it was like very surprising.
I immediately called him and I was just like, no, you know, we have to research this some more. I actually need to like figure out what this surgery is, what they were, you know, wanting to do. And that's where I made like a post on Instagram, you know, actually saying like, hey, any kids with CP that have had SDR or hadn't had SDR, you know, have your children gone through, you know, this, you know, guided growth hip surgery and or double hip surgery? What are your thoughts, opinions? A PT reached out to me and said, have you ever thought about doing a standing program? And I said, no, why? Why have I not heard of this? What is a standing program? And she recommended, you know, the Zing Stander to us. And she said, you know, try doing a daily standing program, 2 hours every day. And what was nice about, you know, Zing, in her opinion, was that it could do the full hip abduction. So we could have Briella stand in full hip abduction, 30 degrees on each leg, so for 60-degree total, to really help push, you know, her femur into her pelvis, and, you know, keep her hips more stable and healthy and get in that standing time that she basically kind of missed out on, you know, her 6 years of life, to avoid surgery, you know, essentially. So I was like, oh my gosh, okay, why did our PMR doctor want to put us right through surgery? Why did our ortho want to put us right through surgery? Why did I not hear about, you know, having Briella in a stander from the beginning? You know, the benefits of standing and never heard of.
Are you being silly? 2, 3, 1. Okay.
It's giving us hope, you know, like, okay, we maybe have another option. Like, let's look into this and, you know, avoid the surgery. So once her PT got, you know, went on Zing's website, we got everything, all the specifications done, everything that Briella would need, from, you know, the tray to, you know, having like the knee pads, just really making it comfortable for her while she does her, you know, daily 2-hour standing program. So she, you know, got that letter of medical necessity for Briella to help the insurance process. But, you know, the whole insurance battle, I was for sure thinking that they were gonna deny it, just because she's 6 and like, why would she need a stander now? But I think really with, you know, going in with all of the information that we wanted to avoid the hip surgery, to do this at home to help keep her hips, you know, healthy, and to have that letter of medical necessity really, really helped in securing Briella with her stander. So yeah, we've been doing her daily standing program, you know, while Briella was doing virtual school, and, you know, knocking out, you know, her standing program daily with that. So she loves her stander. She loves being in it. I think she feels very secure in it, knowing that she can, you know, stand and feel comfortable standing, and she can still do, you know, school in it, and she can do writing activities, she can do some OT activities.
Yeah, it was like perfect timing with virtual schooling and everything that's been going on, for her to be able to do a few hours in the stander and do her schoolwork, and she took to it like right away.
So in 2021, Briella did a 2-week intensive with NeuroWorks in Florida, and then in September we did a 3-week intensive at Napa Center in Chicago. So we did 2 intensives, and we just stayed proactive with her daily standing program here at home and doing some therapy stuff at home, to just really, you know, help with her hip health and help stabilization. But going in the intensives is just, you know, kind of going in and saying, hey, what do you want to work on? What can we do to help get your child to, I guess, the next step? And it kind of just depends on, you know, your child and where they're at in their development and growth.
When you first get there, you kind of establish the goals for that period, whether it's a week or 3 weeks, and then kind of the long term also.
Yeah, so what's nice about it is you can focus on a couple goals to start. You work on those couple goals throughout your intensive physical therapy program. And then before they send you home, they give you a nice printout sheet, kind of go over some exercises and therapy goals to do at home, because physical therapy never really stops. I think it's just so huge, and a lot of parents don't really realize it. I think they think going to therapy once a week is enough. And that was us, not really knowing when Briella was first diagnosed. We weren't doing as much therapy as we should have been doing. We didn't know anything about, a daily standing program and, hip health early on. And so, just working hard with her constantly and really seeing the results. I think Briella would be a totally different girl than she is now. I don't think she'd have, nearly as much independence from before to now if we didn't keep up with her therapies. Yeah, going into her appointment, her orthopedic appointment, I was a little worried, because I was just, you always as a parent are just, you gotta be prepared for the worst. I think raising a child with a disability and medical complexities. But, at the same time, I was feeling very hopeful, because I know, we kind of all worked so hard this past year. In October, when we went to follow up with her orthopedic surgeon and we did updated hip x-rays, we were told great news by her orthopedic surgeon that Briella does not need double hip surgery at this time, that her hips have actually improved over the last 9 months, and they are staying stable. So we know that, doing the daily standing program and doing intensive therapy and a home exercise program over this last year has really helped with Briella's hip stability and hip health, and just knowing that we don't have to put her through, another invasive surgery. We were so happy. So it's such great news.
I was just surprised at how quickly it I forget the exact percentages from before and after, but just the improvement and how quickly her hips improved in that amount of time, mostly just using the stander. Yeah, it was kind of a victory for us, saying, no, we're gonna wait on surgery, and I think we can find a better way. And that worked out. We did find a better way, and the results, again, were way more than I think we expected, and she just seems to be getting smarter and smarter every day. Wants to do things more independently, wants to try things, going up steps or a hill or something that I wouldn't expect her to have tried a year or two ago.
Just the confidence, I think, that is just so much. She's way more stable, way more confident. She's able to change directions. I think the stability, the confidence that I want to do it.
Wants to do it herself.
Yep.
You try to help her. No, I want to do it.
People would ask us, will she ever walk? Will she ever talk? Will she ever do this? Will she ever live independently? I don't know. It's we don't always have all those answers. You can only just hope and pray for the best. But I think, just her determination and her personality and her courage and her strength, and just seeing, how far she's come these last 7 years and overcome, what the doctors have said that she may never do, like walking and talking and, things like that. It gives us hope for the future of, what's to come.
Ready?
And I think the biggest thing that we've learned on this journey is just how to advocate for your child, and how to be you got to do the research yourself. You got to find that community, because it will help you in so many ways. You literally learn so much from all of these families who are going through, the same things that you're going through. It's really kind of just been a passion, through her Instagram and social media pages, just kind of sharing everything that we know, that we've learned these last 7 years about cerebral palsy, and you know what we're doing, and just the great successes that we've seen, and from before to now, if we didn't, you know, keep up with her therapies, and you know, just raising awareness, and you know, talking to other parents, and kind of getting that education and that support, and just, you know, finding all these other therapies and things that we can do. So I think that was huge, because we've seen so many gains and just so much progress these last, you know, 3 years. So exciting.
Do you have a cheer?
You cheerleader?